Well, it's another day now, and I've come to the IBC tanks because I need to water the polytunnel. But whilst I'm still thinking about the carrots, I got my little bed. It's only a tiny little bed. I think there's about 6 rows of carrots in that bed, and if you work out the length of those rows, there's 36 feet of carrots, and at a 2-inch spacing between the carrots, that's the potential for 36 times 6, so you're going to get 6 carrots to the foot, 190 carrots, so just not from that small area there, 190 organic carrots. Right, let's get some water pumped from the IBC. As you can see, the IBCs are very low. We've not had a lot of rain in this part of the UK. I live in the southwest. I noticed that a lot of the people up north have had a lot more rain, and they're probably cursing it. They probably want the dry weather. But down here we could do with more rain, to be honest with you. And for those of you that have been wondering, do the IBC tanks, does the water turn green with algae? And I can definitely say, without a shadow of a doubt, the answer to that is yes. In the case here, even though they're in the shade, the rainwater has turned, or is turning, green with algae. So I'm going to so thumbs up to you that got that right. Well done. I knew it was potential for that to happen, and when I get round to it, I'm either going to paint them black or I'm going to get covers. Probably go with covers, I expect. Right, let's get the pump plumbed in to the hose pipe. So those of you who are wondering, this is the Bosch 18-volt pump. It's wonderful. Very happy with it. The other thing that I've done is everything is covered. I've got nets to keep the birds off over the beans and the leeks. Under here we've got a mixture of onions, beetroot, radishes, and Swiss chard, covered over. That's the carrot bed down there, and my onion bed here. The onion bed's covered over specifically to keep out the allium leaf miner. But the other great benefit from having the beds covered like this is that there's no slug damage, there's no snail damage, there's no bird damage. So all in all, a win-win situation. And also it gives a microclimate. It keeps the cold evening air away and allows the plants to benefit from the extra warmth. And things under here are coming along quite nicely. Whilst we're here, we'll have a little peek underneath the fleece and see how things are going. So let's have a look under here. Look at that. That's doing really well. Radishes, onions, beetroot, Swiss chard. So all companion growing under there. They're coming on nicely. I'm happy with that. No slug damage. Not only is there no slug damage, but I'm not seeing many slugs or snails at all. I do come out at night time, and I see 1 or 2 here or there, but nothing like the numbers I had in previous years. And I think that's down to the fact that I've got no pieces of wood down the side of the beds. It's just the beds, then it's the wood chip, and there's no environment really, or I've reduced the environment for the slugs and the snails, and I've not encouraged them. So and then, as I say, we've got the physical barrier of the netting, which is just wonderful. I've got no damage whatsoever. Potato bucket's starting to come to life now. We've got a few shoots from the second earlies. You're looking healthy. I've got loads of shoots. They've all come up here. I have to be careful we don't get a frost. I'll have to mulch them over if we do. But having the mulch on the surface there keeps the compost, oh yeah, some weight in that, it keeps the compost moist. Having the bottoms of the buckets dug into or surrounded by the wood chips, I've got a good couple of inches of wood chips down here, means that the moisture runs from the bucket, it's held in the bucket because you've got the mulch, and then it runs down, and any that runs out, it runs into this environment down here, and it indirectly keeps the bucket moist as well, because if the bucket dries out, it can then draw moisture up from the ground back into the bucket, and that seems to be doing the trick. Well, this is the bed, the allium bed where all my onions are. About nearly 400 onions under here, and I've also interplanted a few radishes and a few beetroot as well. Let's have a look under here, see how these are doing. Let's have a look under there. So yeah, we've got some good strong growth on the onions. Looking alright, I'd say. Time will tell, but so far so good. They are needing a bit of water because the rain doesn't penetrate through this fleece too well. I'm losing some of the rainfall, so I do have to take the cover off and water the bed every now and again. It's all right. We've also, I just noticed, got ladybirds as well, which are very beneficial. Right, let's put that back. This is the bean bed, or this will be the bean bed. At the moment, it's there's nothing in it at all, but I'm going to be able to grow quite a lot of beans, I'm pretty sure, in this one bed. How long is it? Well, it's about just over a metre wide, 3-4 feet wide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, 6 yards or 6 metres by about 1.5 metres. So it's like 9 square metres of growing space for the beans. This is a brand new bed. I only established it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's not no dig, but it will eventually become no dig. I think when I break new ground, I always dig it out, make sure there's no rubble under the ground, breeze blocks or other junk, remove all the rubbish, all the stones, and then I incorporated some of that recycled centre compost, use it as a kind of a soil amendment, and from now on the ground will not be disturbed, it'll be no dig, and as time goes on I should just layer more compost on the surface. But I've used it as my brassica bed, and I've got a mixture of cabbage and cauliflower in here at the moment, and I've got a spare piece of ground at the back of the bed where I'm possibly going to plant some leeks. Well, let's take a walk into the polytunnel. I need to, I've got the hose pipe already there, I need to start watering in here. Yeah, it's a marked difference in progress in the polytunnel. As soon as you walk in, you feel the warmth and the humidity. Right, so you can see things are coming along nicely. We've already been harvesting from the radishes and also from the lettuces. We've done really well. I've got my tomatoes in the ground already. A bit early perhaps, but I do cover them over in the evening with fleece, and we've had some cold weather but they've survived, and I think everything's doing good. Down here I've got a little tray of basil and celery. Yeah, Mandy does like her celery. Look at that, you can see the little celery plants there. They're really coming on lovely. They were tiny little seedlings when I pricked them out. I had a pot of them, and I only took about a tenth of the pot of the seeds that I sowed. The rest of them I gave to my friend Richard Vobes. Richard and Julia on the English couple. So hopefully they'll be able to prick them out and pot them on and get little celery seedlings like that. And these ones here, this side, these are basil. So this is going to be an accompaniment for the tomato plants. So when I get the tomatoes, I'll be able to cook them and preserve them with basil, which I'm going to grow alongside the plants. Just lovely, look at that. So these are marigolds, companion flowers that I should be planting in the polytunnel and around about the garden. These I'll probably put outside. I've already got interspersed amongst the plantings either side of the polytunnel. I've already got the marigolds in the ground. Some of them are doing really well. Yeah, here's one of the marigold flowers there. The tomato seedlings are doing really well. It's a money maker. I have one money maker that I managed to grow from seed. This is a gardener's delight, and scattered around about are all the other different varieties. But the salad leaves, we've been harvesting these already, and you can see we've got good leaves to harvest there now. When I sowed these salad leaves, it was called spicy mix, and I'm not sure what they are, to be honest with you, but this particular leaf here is extremely tasty. It's lovely. I made a bit of a mistake, I think, with the spacing in between the salad leaves, though I could have maybe spaced them at half that distance. There's a big gap in between. So I've got more seedlings that I've sowed, so I can fill those gaps in as time goes on. But yeah, nice tasty leaves. So some of us go to supermarkets and we buy our produce wrapped up in cellophane. You don't know how old it is. It might have been grown in China. It might have been grown hydroponically with lots of chemicals, herbicides, pesticides, hormones, who knows what they put in stuff these days. Well, some of us just come out into our garden, pick a leaf and eat it. And we get the full benefit of all the nutrients without the chemicals. Let me tell you a short story. A bit of personal information, but I don't mind sharing it. A number of years ago, I had a minor accident, and it resulted in me suffering from a hiatus hernia, which is it's an internal hernia in the diaphragm. And ever since that time, probably in my 40s at the time, I suffered with bouts of indigestion and acid reflux, and it got so bad that every now and again I'd have to go to the doctor, and I'd have an endoscopy where they put a camera down your throat to check on what's happening, and that's how they discovered the hiatus hernia. And they put me on a course of medication called omeprazole, which is it's a PPI, a proton pump inhibitor. Basically, it stops the stomach producing acid. So you end up with a stomach and a digestive system that is below par, because it hasn't got the acid which is needed to break down some of the food that we eat to release the nutrients. But I limit my intake of these PPI drugs. I only take them when I really need to. It's been up and down with it, to be honest with you. But just last week, I had some raw milk. I drank some raw milk, went to Dora's Dairy, and I bought I was given a litre of raw milk, and I took it home, and over the course of the next couple of days I drank that litre of milk, and I've had absolutely no acid reflux, no discomfort, no need to take the PPIs or anything like that. And I put it down to the probiotic benefits of raw milk. I did a video on my visit to Dawes Dairy, and a lot of people were espousing the benefits of it, and a lot of people were also saying how dangerous raw milk is. I can just tell you from my first-hand experience that it genuinely has reduced my necessity to use PPI medication. I feel a lot better in my digestive health, and the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II, used to drink a glass of raw milk every day. I believe the royal family drink raw milk. If it's fresh, I believe the benefits of drinking raw milk far outweigh the negatives. So for me, from now on, I should be going back to Dawes Dairy and buying myself a litre or two of raw milk every week. I should be going back there probably later on today, or certainly this week anyway. And the other thing is, there's a fresh radish pulled straight from the ground. Yeah, I won't eat the root with all the dirt on it, but there's going to be microbes and other dirt on that, and it'd be horrifying to some people to think that you might eat something like that straight from the ground and not wash it. But again, this is delicious. This is delicious, by the way. Again, there are benefits to having exposure to soil bacteria. Again, there's a negative side to it as well, and there's stories of people getting terrible things from the soil. But I've never had a problem, and I've always eaten, picked stuff from the ground and eaten it without washing it. Never done me any harm. I always feel better after being exposed to natural elements and to nature. Anyway, I've got to water this lot now. Let's get the pump running. So anyway, watering can be a pain, and it doesn't rain inside a polytunnel, so you're left with no option but to water, and having to carry watering cans, heavy watering cans, to water this lot, it would be a lot of work. So I've used this this watering lance, and it's no weight at all. I haven't got to go and carry buckets of water or watering cans. I can just come along and water my plants. And the good thing is that I can water at the base of the plant, so I haven't got to get the leaves wet. Sometimes when you get everything wet, you can get problems with damping off, which is a type of a fungal thing. But this alleviates damping off. You can keep the environment dry, but apply the moisture where it's needed at the base of the plant. Also, I'm able to reach across the beds. I'm not straining. And there you go, I've watered already half of the polytunnel. The other thing is that I'm aware of is that it does appear that we do get drier seasons now in the spring and the summer. Last year was very, very dry, and it was a drought basically. We had a hose pipe ban. So I've got these IBCs and I've got other storage containers. I've got approximately 3,500 litres of rainwater storage capacity. Unfortunately, I haven't got that much stored because by the time I installed them, I'd missed most of the rain. So they're still going to be useful for me because they'll be ready for next year. But not only that, this year, before any hose pipe ban occurs, I'll be able to fill my water storage containers. If they're not filled with rainwater, I'll be able to use city water or tap water and then let it stand for a bit. By letting it stand, it will help the chlorine to dissipate and other volatile things to come out of the water. So I'll be able to then use that to water my plants. I would ideally have preferred the rainwater, but I'm maybe not going to get it this year. But I also will be able to defeat the hose pipe ban by doing that. Right, that's it. I have watered the polytunnel. What else could I say? Oh yeah, the milk thing. Babies. Oh, it's nice to be a baby, wouldn't it? You've got that life ahead of you. But milk is meant for babies. Well, meat was meant for muscles. Plants were meant to photosynthesize light and impart and to remove nutrients from the ground and grow. Trees are meant to grow into forests and not be burnt as wood. I mean, where do you end? You know, the human animal has evolved to capitalise on all these resources. So yeah, milk is meant for baby animals, and it's also a resource which I believe some groups of humans can't drink milk. I'm not sure if it's the Asians or if it's the Aborigines. They haven't adapted to it because they never had the chance to use it. Whereas I think in the more cooler climates, like in Europe, in years and years gone by, there was probably a lack of other food and nutrients available. So people had to make do with what they could get, and you're probably going back thousands, if not tens of thousands, possibly even more than that, where people would take whatever resources were to hand and use that rather than die. And so over that length of time, our bodies have adapted, and I know the Europeans are one group of people that can use milk, and as I say, other people, I don't think they can. But anyway, for me, I should be drinking the raw milk, I think, going forward. Right, yeah, things are looking good in here. I'm really pleased with how things are coming along. Anyway, just one last thing. We're all in charge of ourselves, aren't we? You know, we've all got a freedom to choose what to do, whether to do A or to do B. And I think that fundamental thing that fundamental freedom is a very important thing. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that whatever I do here, if it's not doesn't align with your philosophy, with what you think is right for your life, then you've got you're every bit as right to do what you're doing for yourself as what I'm doing for myself. So you know, if I want to eat food unwashed or drink raw milk or ride a recumbent trike, you know, that's my choice, and that ability to make that choice is really important. And if you don't like drinking milk, or if you want to be a vegan, or if you believe that the world is flat and that we never went to the moon, well, I might not agree with you on that, but that's your choice. And that's really important, that you believe what you believe and that you have that choice. So anyway, yeah, it's a funny old place, the world, isn't it? But anyway, yeah, I believe what I believe. I believe the world is a globe. I believe that we went to the moon. I believe that Artemis 2 took off and went round the backside of the moon and come back a few weeks ago, or a few days ago. And I'm happy with that belief, and if you don't believe in that, then as long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters, really, isn't it? Right, I'll see you on the next one. Let's just hope the globe keeps spinning. Bye for now.